folks. We're back for a podcast, a live podcast tonight. I'm here with a special guest, Mr. Paul himself. So, Paul,
Right.
talk us about your podcast, what you do anyways.
Yeah, first of all, Keith, thank you so much for inviting me on, man. It's amazing to be on your channel. You're doing so well. You're getting the numbers, mate. It's good to see. I like
That's
the
it. Well,
content.
look, the Celtic supporters want to hear as much as they can, a fan perspective,
Yeah,
like us all.
100%. 100%. So anyway, my name's Paul Charlie Boy Con. If anybody's, if you've not seen me yet, so I run a podcast based in mental health, and it's called Green Sunrise Podcast. So when I brought the Green Sunrise Podcast out, people thought, "Is it Celtic?" And I was like, "No, it's not actually Celtic." But look, Celtic's obviously part of who I am. I've grew up supporting Celtic my whole life, and I was just thinking about what to do with it. And I remember talking to LDT at the time, and she was kind of helping me out with trying to start my own podcast. So the mental health stuff has always been in my life, and suicide prevention for guys and women, of course, is something that I've always been speaking about. So I've started to, do you know what, let's make it a podcast channel, and let's just try and make it something that people can go to. So I'm trying to find people in a dark place, which is quite funny, but
It's
there's so many
obviously
people
a lot of people have felt it after the pandemic. They still can't shake the whole social aspect of it. I'll give you a little story as well, just for the followers. So I done a sticker campaign during lockdown. So I had my own Come On the Hoop stickers. It used to cost me about 200 odd quid to get them printed out. So what we done was I raised up to 1,300 quid, 1,300 euros. So I used to get people to buy a pack of 8 of them for 10 quid. So that would be your postage. And so I raised up to 1,300 quid, and we donated over 900 quid to mental health, straight away mental health.
Oh wow, mate!
Now, the
Well done.
rest of it was obviously charges, postal charges that went in. But what I've done was, the reason why I donated it, a couple of months before that, I was in a bad place myself, and I rang up a place called it's called Aware. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's Aware. They're
No.
basically blue, white, and yellow. They're an Irish mental health charity. So I rang them up. I was at a difficult place at the time. I spoke to this woman for an hour, and she just changed. That after that phone call, my whole mindset changed forever,
Good.
and I was in a better place, which was fantastic. So I thought I'd give something back to the community.
Yeah.
Obviously, we done the campaign,
Massive, man.
made a fortune off it, and gave it to a good cause, and obviously the rest of it went in the postage charges. We sent stickers to Alaska, Hawaii. We sent them to New Zealand, Dunedin in New Zealand. It was all over the place. We even sent them to Tonga at one point. People were buying them. It's just because we were all bored. We were all locked down, and people got the stickers, pink stickers. There was green stickers. There was different types of Come On the Hoop stickers. But we're going to talk about the Celtic side of it tonight. There's loads to talk about. That's why everybody's here. Everybody's here to talk about Celtic, what's going on, the summer window. We want to know how we're feeling about Brendan, how we feeling about the new home kit, about the potential signings, the potential outgoings. I'm going to ask you your input on the whole Brendan Rodgers thing. How are you feeling about it?
Oh, 100%. When I was told it was coming back, it took a wee while, obviously, and I think Celtic fans and myself were getting a wee bit upset. Like, come on, what's happening, Celtic? Pull your finger out. But when it actually happened, I was over the moon, because Brendan Rodgers is the strongest candidate. He knows what the club's all about. Obviously, there was a lot of people out there who still won't forgive him, but I think they'll start to edge closer to starting to forgive him, because he's here to do business, and I think he means it. And I think, obviously, with the 3-year contract that he signed, and he's obviously come out and said, right, I'm staying for the 3 years. I will be staying. It was good that he came out and actually said that he was sorry. Well, he wasn't sorry, but he understood the hurt that happened when he left Celtic, and how he came across was just Brendan Rodgers, wasn't it? It was just so professional, and it was good to watch. So I'm so happy Brendan Rodgers is back.
Do you be honest with you now? We bring Odin in from Norway. We've obviously brought in Marco Tellilo. Looking at these signings, they're not Brendan Rodgers signings. They can't be Brendan Rodgers signings.
No, but then again, I think there's a lot of Celtic fans who may have spoke about this, right? Like I think we speak about Ange leaving, right? And when Ange left, there was a lot of, obviously, negativity towards, right, how could they do that to us, right, like so quickly. So if you got to got to look at that. That deal was done months ago.
That's the thing. He was talking to Spurs from February, and I know Conte was still in charge of Spurs until mid-March, and then after the Southampton, I was a draw or the defeat, whatever it was, and he slammed the dressing room. I don't know if you've ever watched the Tottenham documentary with Levy sits in the canteen and the players and all that.
I've seen him. No, I've not seen the documentary. I've seen him.
Watch it tonight.
In the Tottenham one, but I've seen the Tottenham one where it's just him, and there's no coughs whatsoever. But there was none of that cat. But the thing is, like, it's big deal down there for them, and I just think that that deal was done months ago. But I also think that the Brendan Rodgers deal was done months ago. So
100%. As we discussed off air, I knew about the Brendan comeback about 3 weeks before, and I mentioned on the channel many times, and people were like, no, but a lot of people are warming up to the idea now that he's now in the door. Pre-season pictures are there, players are training. Joe Hart's talking highly about him. Matt O'Reilly's talking highly about him, saying it's a good culture. He comes over, he sits there with you on your lunch, he's approachable, and that's the type of Brendan's different to Ange. Ange was a real, motivation speaker. Obviously, you've seen the clips of him when he was the manager of Socceroos, and then you've seen the clips of him for the League Cup.
Yeah.
Brendan's a different type. He's real hands on the pitch, and that's the way he likes to be. And I think it was a big surplus keeping John Kennedy, as much as over the years. I'll go back to when Ange took the job, and I remember that picture of, I think it was down in Wales, the training camp down in Wales, where Strachan's sitting there, Kennedy's sitting there, and Ange is literally on the side of the dugout on his own, like kind of a bit away from them. And I'm just like, why are these two still here? These two are kind of the fault to the disaster of the season they had. And to be honest with you, I at one point I could not stand John Kennedy, even when he got the in-tournament. And now I'm praising him because I'm looking at him like, well, do you know what? This guy's walked under Ronnie, Brendan, Ange, Lenny, and he's done it all. Like, he's been there. So obviously Damien Duff has talked about him highly. Christopher Royer talked about him highly when he left.
Yeah, it had to happen. With John Kennedy staying, and it was massively big for Celtic for him to stay. And like I say, he did have. I think we all had a dig at him, didn't we? Because it was just that season. He took over. Nobody wanted to take over that season. Not from Neil Lennon. Me personally, I was glad Neil Lennon took it on to begin with, when obviously Brendan had left. So,
but you weren't too happy. Were you actually? Did you want to take him on after the Scottish Cup, or was it just a wing it till the end of the season?
I was happy with that, right? I just think the players bottled it, and I think Neil Lennon might have been part of that, obviously. But look, if the guy we wanted left, it was, well, what some Celtic fans said to me the other day, was it because did Brendan Rodgers bottle it? As in, did he want? He didn't want to be the guy that ruined 10 in a row. So
it's not bad. It's not a bad. No one's ever actually said that before. Like they're quick enough to say about like the likes of Tooney and all leave and stuff like that, players. But I think it was a case the first time around with Brendan, he wasn't getting the funds. He wasn't getting the funds. Look at them signings in January. Timothy Weah on loan, Oliver Burke on loan, Jeremy Tojang, like players.
I know, yeah. The John McGinn thing was it for me. Was where it put the name in the coffin for Brendan Rodgers. I think that's
for an extra 500 grand. We could have had John.
Yeah, I think so. I think that obviously it was interesting when Brendan came back, because he spoke about he's actually now seen the structure and how Celtic are going to go forward, and it's the signing structure, the scouting development, and
you praise Lawwell for that, Mark Lawwell and Nicholson. I think it's like, I remember when Nicholson got the job, I was like, oh, this is going to be just a job for the lads. This is just a typical boardroom shake-up. But it seems like he gets the business done, even when you see him at Ange.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Celtic are just that team, man. We're just so used to winning over the last 20 years, let's be honest. And we just, it's now that expectancy of everything. I think, I'm one of the Celtic fans as well. I'll be raging if we don't win the league, obviously. But I think, look, Brendan Rodgers is in. Is he better than Ange? I think so, but at the same time but Ange was brilliant. Ange was brilliant. But look, we're coming into a Rangers team that are supposedly a bit stronger. I still don't see them doing it next season. But I think Brendan will be far too strong. The money that he's got to spend, who's he going to buy? So there's lots of.
I think I'll be honest with you, because he's at the walking away with 7 trophies. I think the bar's raised up higher than we've ever had it. And then we're looking at it as like, we have the money there now. We're at to receive money from JOTA. He's being promised 30 million in the bank, and there's going to be more players going. Like as Ian's saying there, it's stopping the exodus of players going. Players come and go, and I will not be surprised. There'll be another 1 or 2 surprises going down the line that you won't expect. But the most important thing is we got to keep the likes of Kyogo and MAEDA.
Yeah,
you know.
Well, that was good. That's been good the last 2 days that they've signed contracts. And yeah, I mean Kyogo, there was all talk about him going as well. Again, the rumour mill was terrible.
Borley.
I mean, well, obviously
a wet night in Porth more.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? The same team as who Jota's went to, but it was. I think that was a joke. It was like every Celtic, like Rio Hatate. I don't know what's happened with Rio Hatate. I would love to keep him, but if he goes, Celtic will just churn out another star.
Well,
find somebody.
What was it? Kyogo was announced on, was it Tuesday? He was announced as Tuesday. He was announced, and if it's another 3 or 4 days gap, and then Hatate comes back, because I know Hatate's flying back. You've seen the pictures of him at the high school and all in Japan.
Right.
Obviously, these players got a little bit later because of international duty.
Yeah.
I've been feeling about Hatate since the last game of the season. I think he will go. I think the club will get an offer that he can't refuse. I don't think he wants to go, but I think the offer will come in, and I won't be surprised if it'd be a Villa or a Brighton.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have European football as well.
Yeah.
I know it's not Champions League.
But so MAEDA, I mean, was that today? That was
today at 5 o'clock. Surprised! I'm surprised it wasn't an 8 o'clock announcement. The usual crack.
I've heard as well. Was it CCV is signed already to 2026? So he signed a 4-year deal last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, but see, because there's an option to renew his as well for another year as well. Kind of like the whole JOTA thing at the time.
Yeah.
But CCV obviously got the operation towards the end of the season. You could see that we were rusty at the back.
Yeah. 100%. It's 100%. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this season. I think it's just going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see who we're going to get. The boys we've already got in look really impressive. Thiago, is it home Thiago? This boy looks like a player. Yeah,
the likes he does. Like there was likes of Manchester United Juventus were looking at him at one point, and I was obviously he was in the shortlist for the young Ballon d'Or, youth Ballon d'Or and stuff like that at one point. Like this guy is a prospect. This could be a new Stefan Johansson, even a better Stefan Johansson in midfield. You know, Stefan was a good player for Celtic in his 4 season. Proper 4 seasons, solid. Then obviously when Brendan came in, he's like, doesn't suit my style of play. But the whole JOTA thing, we look at that this week, and I know a lot of fans are telling me to get over and stop jumping on, stop being so cruel and all, but like this is a guy that we idolise. This, like, especially for the younger Celtic fans, like I know he's still on the flag at the moment. That's history. That flag is world history, world treble history. But you look like JOTA went, and I don't blame him for going. If you were going to offer,
you could. Look, I've got no issues. At first, I had an issue, but then you look at the money, man. You got to remember, this is generational wealth. This isn't just a signing for another team. It's generational wealth for this boy, and everybody would do it. Everybody and their granny would do it. So there's no. I've got no qualms right now. It's done, and I think Brendan Rodgers will know who he wants to get in, and I mean this boy for Australia, this 21-year-old.
He looks good. Marco Toledo. He looks really good. And he looks like he can play in below flanks as well, which is good.
Here's a question for you. Apart from Moy, right? Would you take El Younussi back?
Yes, I was going to bring that up. I would.
Yeah, okay, right. Fair dues, right. 100%.
I think he got a raw end of the straw, to be honest with you, because he was actually consistent considering that season we had. He was scoring goals in the Europa League for us. Them 2 goals against Lille, they were crackers away from home. And he scored a hat-trick against Motherwell that season.
Yeah, I think he's different class, El Younussi, I think. I forget him. If he comes back, we'll wait and see.
I'd take him back. I think he's good enough. Like, he wouldn't be in the Norwegian squad for no reason. Like, he's a good enough player. Like, and Norway are a developing team.
It's not that. Was he not getting a game for the team for Southampton?
Played only 14 games. I think he played for Southampton. Now, obviously, he's a free agent. I'd take Mohamed El Nussi back. I think it's a no-brainer to take him back.
Aye. So it's just all what Brendan wants.
He's been there. Even in his first 6 months at the club, he done well. And then obviously the COVID season, he was still scoring goals for us. As far as I know, he scored 18 goals that season. The last season. Yeah. 18 goals and 11 assists.
Wow. No, I mean, that's just amazing. It's a good stats.
I don't like the thing about the A-League is, well, you're looking at you're talking about Marco there, right? Regards to Marco, like, these boys can come in from the A-League and we could doubt them. Like, we doubt Ange, we doubt the ability of, because it's a different continental style of football. But this guy is being cast for Australia, and the pace of him and the trickery, like, I honestly believe that he's going to hit the ground running. I don't think he's going to be a Champions League stage player like we're looking for. But I think domestically, you give this guy a run in the team. I think, personally feel Abada is going to go to Sporting Lisbon. The money's right.
Yeah, I know. By the way, I was going to say that. Well, again, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the new Celtic talk. It's going to get that.
We have loads to talk about, folks. Get the questions in. I'm going to try Floyd. 45 strong.
So Ian Morrison's just said they're so quick, Tulio, rapid twists and turns. I like the sound of that, man.
This is a guy that we should be. If we can keep him fit and keep him away from injury, big Hackett. Like, to be honest with you, I think for the first 6 months of the season, I couldn't get around him. I couldn't get around because I think it was the quality that we had ahead of Hackett. Yeah. But you can play behind the strike, you can play on the left, and even like, who was that goal he scored the absolute belter against? Was it against Hibs when he turned and he's belt in the far right?
He caught, and I'm sure you had to. He's a good player.
He is a good player, and I think the only problem that we had with Hackett was obviously the Rupa Kazam FIFA rules and all that, the whole transfer embargo. But I think it's been sorted since. But
and he's got one of the best. He's got one of the best goal celebrations that there is to have, with the wee dance and all that. The wee Spanish.
He'll be dancing around that travel next season, hopefully.
100%. Keep dancing. That's all I want to see.
Well, my honest opinion is, I put this out the other day, right? I talked about Abada, right? So his contract's up in 2025. 25 to 25 season, 25 to 26 season. How much is he worth? Be honest. What would you put on Abada?
Look, because we're in Scotland, right? We're never going to get the money that. You're right. So he's played good in Scotland. He's
only 21. He's only 21.
He's done Rangers a few times. He's only 21. So I definitely say above.
You got Champions League experience, you got Europa League experience, and you got international call-ups in there.
I would definitely say over 20 million anyway. You've got to go over 20 million. Look how much money that people are going for down south. And I know it's a different league, I know that, all over the world, but Abada's up there. Definitely. I think he's definitely up there for 20 million.
I think pushing between 18 to 20 million. And the reason why I think we're looking at this as a perspective, you're looking at what he has on his CV, you're looking at his stats. He's at the being coming off the bench last season, scoring goals, crucial goals, even the fourth season. He was a project player the fourth season. He wasn't meant to play that much football. And Ange came out and said that. And he was a massive part. You go back to that Dundee United goal at Celtic Park, like, this is a player that we could sell to the Premier League for about 20 million.
Yeah.
And I would not be surprised about this. I know he's an Israeli and all, but I would not be surprised a Saudi team come in from.
But I
won't be surprised. I'm gonna do a bold prediction on this. You're gonna say this is a weird one. I won't be surprised Steven Gerrard's team come in for him.
Yeah. Look, why not? These players, if they played in that league, if they play so well in this league, they could play in that league, no worries whatsoever, in my opinion. But like I say, only time will tell. I don't know much about the Saudis league. I don't know much about it at all.
So obviously, we made 19 million off Jota because the Benfica got.
Was that how much we made off it?
Yeah, because Benfica got the 30%.
Yeah, no, that's right.
Look, at 19 million, we bought him for 7. We still nearly tripled that money.
Yeah. Yeah, do you know what? It's done. It's done. We've done good business there. We've got to realise that.
I think with that money, we could go out and get this guy, Fabian Reaper, or Robert,
Yeah,
whatever his name is.
yeah. Rodella. He looks again. He looks a good player. What about? I won't go on to the next player, but there's another player
21 years of age. He's played for young
Oh,
boys 80 times, 14 goals, capped for Switzerland. I think he's been capped for Switzerland. Could be wrong. 5, 6 times so far. Could be wrong. 21. He's valued at 15 million. I think we could get him for lower. I think if Celtic push and try get him for
is
about
he?
12 million.
I've only seen a couple of clips of him. Is he both footed or is he left footed?
Both footed. You can play in the wing and you play behind the striker. So he's got, to be honest with you, Hackett, he's very similar to Hackett.
Right, okay. Right. But
he ran that young boys team. Like, he has Europa League experience and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He's won a couple of Swiss leagues, and the Swiss league's not a bad league. I know there's lower teams in it, but you got the likes of Basel as well in there, Saint Gallen and all that.
What are they saying for him? 15 million?
15 million, the chairman came out and said, but they're going to say that just because Celtic's knocking at the door. But on push, I'd say we can get him for 12.5 towards the end of the window.
I know. We might be getting back to we're scraping, aren't we? Like, if they're asking for 15 and they think they're worth 15, Celtic have got to pay it. But like I say, there's so many players that we don't know. Again, it'd be interesting to see when Brendan Rodgers gets to pick and gets to see what's happening. So back to your earlier question, actually. So you said to me that, do we think Brendan Rodgers signed those players? I'm saying if the deal was done 2 months ago, whatever, right? When he knew it was happening, do you not think he's got some sort of say in that?
I think that particularly Marco Tililo, I think because of the city links there with Melbourne, I think that was done months in advance before Brendan.
Yeah.
I thought, regards to the Norwegian lad, I think it was more like a Brendan signing.
Right, okay. Yeah.
Now I know at start I said, was it a Brendan signing? But regards to the South Korean lad Yang, now the guy that's thrown his toys out of his pram to get the move over, and that team at the moment are basically fighting relegation in the K League.
Right.
Good player. Good player.
Do you know what? I looked at him today, man. There was very Lubo-esque about him, man. There was that bit about him that he looked really good. I wouldn't say he's the next Lubo, but geez, man, he's got something about him. But like I say, again, these are risky players, but
that makes a stepping stone that we're tapping these markets. And at one point, I remember when Ange took off, we were looking at Iranian players and all. We were looking at that type of landscape. Yeah. And I know we went out and obviously tapped into the J League. We're all coming. I think O's going to be a phenomenal player next season. I think a lot of people put O down.
Yeah. This guy's so strong. He's so strong, and I think obviously he likes to show that off. But he's a scorer as well. He's a goal scorer as well. So it'd be interesting to see him and Kyogo next year and how the dynamics would work and how Brendan would kind of develop that for each of them. You know what I mean?
Do you think he'll change the formation? You think he'll go with the 4-3-3 or do you think he'll go 4-5-1?
I really don't know. I don't know. I think
if you go to the landscape. What
was the formation he did when he was here last time? Was it
I was watching the interview he done with Shield, and he said that he does go for a 4-3-3 system for attacking. And I know Leicester he tried.
Aye, but there is another thing. Vardy?
No, he's a finisher, but no.
Nah, not for me either.
I don't think. Not for me. I think Celtic are at the stage where they're looking at getting a player in an average between 21 to 25, so they can make money off, and that's the way business has gone.
That seems to be the model.
That's the model, and as much as you go back 10 years and be like, oh, I don't want that. I think that's disgraceful. Like, we're like, you look back at the players we sold over the last 10 years, Van Dijk's, Wanyamas, Foster's, they all went to Southampton's. You like Tierney, 25 million. Jota. Like, we need to be stubborn with these clubs and say, well, look, we have a Champions League player there. He's at the playing 6 group games in the Champions League, so his valuation goes up.
Yeah. There's another one that's went quiet. Tierney?
I like Tierney. I really believe Tierney could do a job for us in Europe, but it's keeping Tierney fit. Now look at Tierney played over 30 games for Arsenal last season. Didn't start the games because Zinchenko was ahead of him. I think Tierney bringing him back, I think it's more of a marketing stunt. If there's a clause in there where we could take him back and maybe buy him for like say 15 million at the end of that season, maybe we could do that. I think Greg Taylor stepped up the game the last 2 years and he's been unbelievable.
Fabinho, I call him. Fabinho Taylor.
I wanted him out. See him and Mikey Johnston 2 years ago. I every single time would slate them down to the ground. And I think Ange has approved Taylor as a left back. And you look at the start of last season when we signed Berda Bay, and I'm like, this guy Berda Bay is going to come in and take Taylor's slot. And Taylor, to give it to Taylor, he's been consistent. And I think Taylor gets Celtic. He knows what the crack is. He knows.
His energy levels are amazing.
And he's
technically good, Taylor. But people don't understand. He's technically good on the ball. He might not be the guy that can beat people instantly, but he is good on the ball. When you never lose the ball with Taylor, is probably is a good thing. But like I say, the Bernabeu. Do you think he's going to have a chance as well? Do you think he'll be?
No, I think he'd be a good player. I think he'd be one.
Are you one of those guys who just think not for you? Just not.
Do you know what he reminds you of? He reminds you. Remember Moreno that used to play for Liverpool,
right?
Alberto Moreno, good at pushing forward, scoring our goal, but just can't defend. I
know.
Sloppy defending. And I think you look what you have on the right hand side. You got Alistair Johnson that gets solid, that gets stuck in. And look at the way within about 10 games, you knew he was going to be a player. And I honestly didn't think we were going to. I watched him in the World Cup, obviously for Canada against Belgium and against Morocco and Croatia, and I was like, is he going to get ahead of Jovanovic? Like Jovanovic is a proper right back, but the only thing about Jovanovic was he didn't have that final product of crossing. And Johnson has that.
Yeah, I love Johnson. AJ is just the man, isn't he? I just love everything about him.
I remember my cousin lives in Alberta, and he was like to me, Keith, he's a future captain of Celtic. This is when we announced it. He goes, he's a future captain of Celtic. Mark my words.
Yeah. By the way, I would never deny that. I would never deny that. He just, again, we could say that about so many Celtic players. They know what Celtic's all about. But AJ, he's a bit different, isn't he?
Good to see Red Scotland on watching tonight live as well. Go through the comments, folks. Tell us where you're from. Get the questions in. So, would you take Tierney back, Paul?
Yes, 100%. Again,
is it just a loan? Is it just a loan? We just take? Are you going to be out straight and say we need to get him back with a fee?
I would look. I don't think he'd be able to be. I don't think he'd be. So, how much do you think he would be worth to come back to Celtic?
Out straight, probably looking at about 20 million.
So, right. And wait,
because the reason was because he's after playing in the team. He's playing a team that finished second in the league. Yes, they lost out. They bottled the league. Fair enough to see. He's had Europa League experience in there. He's won an FA Cup. He's won a Charity Shield. And he's played a lot of games for Arsenal, considering he did have a few injuries.
And by the way, he's solid looking for Scotland as well.
And he's still, 26?
Yeah, you could. Yeah, you're right.
And he can play centre back for Scotland.
And he could play centre back. Yeah. So that, by the way, there's another thing for Celtic. You could do that for Celtic as well. So, and Greg Taylor can slip into that. In fact, I would be really excited if we got him back. But look, we'll wait and see what happens with that.
It just feels like there's a reunion tour. Is it just brilliant that I know Moose is on a free, and I'd love to get Moose back.
I think. Yeah, it's always going to be heavy rumours, but I suppose that's how this is how your channel works, isn't it? You got to talk about it.
I know people call it clickbait.com, but I don't care.
No, it doesn't matter. It's good to talk about it because people watch it and people will also be commenting in the background and they'll be talking about it and it'll make them think.
Up the tip.
The thing is, the Scottish midfielder, Manchester United boy, that's been like
McTominay.
Oh, now man.
This is the void. There's been a divide about this opinion. Now, be honest with you, I think with Declan Rice gone to Arsenal, I think he's going to go to West Ham. I think McTominay, he's a good taking the ball up, get stuck in. his fourth season for United, when Ollie gave him a chance, he was cracking. He was absolutely cracking.
He's been good.
Is he the next step for Celtic? I think he's 26. I think he's 26. I could be wrong.
He's 26. What age is Calmac at the moment?
Callum's 30.
Right, so he could play definitely. He obviously does play in the same midfield when he's with Scotland.
He's like, do you know what McTominay is like? He's like a Stuart Armstrong with an ear beaton. He's like an ear beaton frame, but a Stuart Armstrong shot on him. That's what he reminds you of.
Yeah. And again,
he's good.
He's a big lad as well. Strong.
That's what we need. We need that physicality in the field. We need someone to get stuck in. I know I've heard these rumours. He's a Rangers fan. He's a Celtic fan. He's from Manchester, folks. He declared for Scotland.
Greg Taylor's a Rangers fan, supposedly, right? And Calmac was a Rangers fan, supposedly, and this kind of jazz. So
was Scott Brown.
Scott Brown, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, look at Kenny Dalglish. Look at Kenny. Look at Danny McGrain.
We couldn't care less. It's like, if you want to come play for the Hoops, we'll show you football, and we'll hopefully get you part of the culture. And that's what Celtic do. Celtic don't care about what team you support. They really don't. That's not who we are. We're open to everybody, and that's...
Start looking back at players that have gone. Well, if Music and Dembele can do a job, I'm sure he can be welcome back at Celtic. Yes, he wasn't prolific in Lyon last year. He only scored like 3 goals in the first 6 months. But I'd take Dembele back. He can do it in the Champions League. I really would take him back, but I don't think Brendan would cause frats again.
I don't know what's happening with him. I've no seen.
And he done a La Liga as well.
Yeah. I don't know if I would take. I love Mr. Dembele. I loved him, but every Celtic fan loved him. But I don't know if I'd take him back. I really don't. If he came back, obviously you'd be happy, but
to be delighted, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I think Celtic are looking at a different model of it, to be honest with you.
Totally different model. I think especially with the Japanese boys and the South Korean boy, it's like there's just a different mixture there. So it's not for me. No Dembele for me. But if it happens, it happens. I doubt it's going to happen.
Right, we're going to talk about potential outgoings. I want people to comment in below what player you want to go. I know
going, man?
It looks like Sorrow's gone to Panathinaikos. That's been fishing around for the last 7 years.
I'm forgetting
he was in Portugal. Done all right in Portugal. He played most games in Portugal. He did. Right. Mikey Johnston. What's your opinion on Mikey Johnston? Has it changed over the last week because Jota's gone?
Well, what did he do to get into the Republic squad?
He was asked 3 months ago to declare for Ireland because obviously Ireland
but what I'm saying is, what has he done to get in there? Because I never seen the Republic games. I never seen any of the games to make a comment on how he done. He scored the goal.
Played a friendly against Latvia, and then he came on against France. He played already against France for the last 14 minutes of the game, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Scored against Gibraltar. It was a tap in. Ireland are lacking players.
Is he back? Is Mikey Johnston back? Is he still in our books?
He's back. Yeah, he's back. He's at the comeback.
So, I just shows you how much I know about Mikey Johnston. But look, I've taken back. But the thing is, does Brendan want?
At the end of the day, Brendan Rodgers gave him his chance. So Brendan Rodgers knows his strengths and weaknesses.
Well, Brendan Rodgers is famous for improving players. He's famous for that. So if he can do it again with Mikey Johnston, go for it.
At the end of the day, you give these guys a couple of games before they close the window, and you don't see any development. My honest opinion of Mikey Johnston was always send him to Hibs on loan, give him that first team football in the league. He needs to get that confidence at home,
like a Ryan Christie kind of thing. But see, the thing is, I just wish he could shoot and score. I just that's all. It was so good.
It's like a McGeady end product, isn't it? It really feels like it.
But I just wanted him to score. Just hit that boy score. How many times did Mikey Johnston get through and goal? I just hit it. And he was
I always remember that goal against Ross County away, and he came up the bench and scored an absolute peach. He just skinned like 3 or 4 and just slotted in the right corner. Yeah. But there's potential there with Mikey Johnston, but who are you gonna put? Are you gonna put MAEDA in the left? Are you gonna put Hackett ahead of him? You're gonna put there is players that we have depth in the squad, but I think people are more we're looking at Jota and saying, right, the quality's gone now. That kind of quality's kind of gone from that type of player. Jota was using Celtic as a stepping stone. Simple as that. He had his
100%.
experience. He wheeled the fans in. He got all the fans aboard, and he's up now nearly 45,000 followers since he went to LADAD, whatever. He hasn't said thank you to the fans. A lot of people don't care, but I'm one of these fans that do care.
Look, you do care. Look, this will come. Don't worry about that, man. He's away. See, in my opinion, he's away.
Probably just overwhelmed. Probably just overwhelmed.
Yeah, I don't care about him saying sorry or anything like that, or not saying sorry, but thanking the fans for his time. That will come. But he's got to remember, he's ran by his PR team and his bosses now. They're telling him.
But he unfollowed all the squad. He unfollowed the whole thing. Just kept Celtic. I was like, that's a PR stunt, definitely. Yeah, he unfollowed all the players. Yeah,
like that's his management. That's. Again, that won't be Jota, but the thing is...
It could be just an emotional side to it as well, where he's like, you know what, I'm leaving a fantastic club, I'm leaving Champions League football, I'm leaving Champions League football, I'm leaving happiness to go to somewhere and I'm getting offered 10 times the money. I'm going to have like 50 properties, 10 million a year in the bank. And people are saying he's never going to get a Portuguese call-up. He probably will get a Portuguese call-up because the amount of Portuguese players that are going over there.
I know that's the thing.
I don't want to burn people's ears about talking about Jota. He's in the past now, and I wish him the best.
It's done and dusted.
Done and dusted. We made 19 million off it. Let's go and buy someone, get someone decent in. And because if this transfer window goes and we're buying lads from A League and J League for the whole window, and we don't go out and buy an established player that has a bit of Premier League experience or Champions League experience, any sort of big name. We need a big name. We need a big name. We need a 15 million player. We need to break the bank and actually go out. I think the highest player we bought ever was Edward, 9.5 million.
Yeah.
We need to break the bank. We have the money there.
We have the money there, and I think that will happen. I think that's going to happen. But who we're going to buy, I'm not too sure. Would McTominay come? I don't know. Would that be the one that
he's on 60k? 60k.
Yeah. So they said it'd be 70k. I think he said it'd be 70k for him to come. But
I wouldn't pay it because Callum Mack is on about 40 odd. I wouldn't pay it. Yeah. I think you've got to look after. You've definitely got to look after Callum Mack anyway. And that's always. Sure, Duffy was on about 50 grand because they done a deal with Brighton at the time. But looking at the squad, the spine of the squad, where do we need to improve? Because a lot of people are saying backup goalkeepers, striker, right back, left backs.
So it was only a few days ago that people thought that Joe Hart was leaving. That was the rumour that Joe Hart was going to the MLS. I was like that. Oh, jeez, old man.
He's probably gone to Inter Miami, joining the Barcelona boys.
Yeah.
I won't blame him. Look at that kid.
I know it's a belter, isn't it? But the goalkeeper, definitely, I think you would need to get the goalkeeper in. Seacrest again, he was.
I met Seacrest the day after the treble, Paul, on the plane on the way to Dublin. And I was chatting away to him. I made an absolute hash of chatting to him. I turned around and said to him, I goes, so are you heading back to Austria? And he goes, Austria, mate. He goes, I'm Swiss. I was like, oh shit!
It's an easy mistake.
And he was like to me, pal, and I was like, where are you off? And he's like, I'm going to Dublin for the day, and then I'm taking a bit of time off, and then where did he go? Straight to Australia to see his missus.
Aye, so his missus has moved to Sydney or something like that. Supposedly,
she's a massive radio presenter over there, like 250,000 followers. So I don't blame him if he goes. You could
probably go. He'll go. He could get a club over there in the worries, I'd imagine. But he probably doesn't need the money. So what he's going to do, he just doesn't need the money.
He'd be just one of them lads just chilling in the jock, let him do all the radio job.
That's it. He'll be a kept man. Do you know what? It's allowed now. This world.
No, obviously, talking about goalkeepers, obviously, Hazard's on the way to Plymouth. They're saying that could be up to $1 million because they got promoted. Now, my opinion on Conor Hazard was he had a run of games in obviously that COVID season, came in, done well against Lille. Couple of mistakes in the cup final. Yes, he made it up at he saved a couple of penalties. I don't think he's ever going to be Celtic's number one.
No, definitely. He knows. I think he knows that himself. So he's off. He's definitely off. It's a
good move from Plymouth. Plymouth are doing well. They bossed that League One last year.
Yeah. No, they did. Good team. Carol Stalford, do you think he's off because Jacinta's off?
I don't have a Jonas the other day, and I had a few subscribers mince me off like, you don't know what you're talking about. Stop making up piggy lies. I'm like, mate, personal circumstances can change your mind about your football career.
Totally.
Simple as that. You know, there's a work and family balance. Yes, he may be with Jacinta a wet weekend, and he's having dinner with her there and then and everywhere. But look, at the end of the day, his best mate is gone as well. Yes, he might have Matt O'Reilly to doss with, but things could happen, change. And as much as these lads are on good dough, a club like a Saudi club could come in for Carl Starfelt, and then he could be gone.
Yeah. Do you know what? And it's just again,
money talks. I don't want Starfelt to go. Oh, you know what? I was very anti against him until the game that made me decide. You know what? I'll start actually getting on his side. It was the game against Hearts when Kyogo scored before Crimbo the first season. I was like, you know what? You start the game, you had a bit of a disaster, and the second half, he was just solid. And then I start winning over him. Like I think.
Yeah, he was solid. He was
people were calling it FA Ambrose 2.0 and all at one point. It was just.
It's just silly. That was just silly. But I enjoyed it. I was always an opinion, but I loved the player. I think he was a brilliant player. I don't
think he's gonna go. I honestly think if he's gonna go, it's gonna happen. But he's not gonna go. I think
him and CCV just work so well together.
That's it. And I think Starfelt is kind of looking and saying to himself, right, even if I can get a championship team in England or a lower tier team in the Premier, a lower level team in the Premier League, like a kind of bottom table team, as you want to call it. We can't predict the Premier League anymore. He'll be gone. I don't think.
Is Scales back?
Scales is back. So we have Montgomery's got back on loan to Fleetwood.
Right.
Robinson's gone to Fleetwood. He went on a permanent in the last window. So Scott Brown's building a little Celtic down there. He is in Fleetwood.
Do you know what? Good on him.
Sorrow's back, which we can be hopefully Panathinaikos. They got it. They got it. He's back as well from Strungrats. I think he only scored 8 goals over there for the whole season.
Who was that? Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget that.
We got fees for him. 5 million.
Do you know
Barkas is gone.
Oh, but Barkas had to just. I know that what a mistake that was. What a mistake that was. Where did they get him from? It was like
that was the bad recruitment. That's what Brendan was talking about. The recruitment has changed so much. They've changed the scouting system. And what I have to say is there's not much change to the coaching staff. We still have Kennedy, we still have Strachan, we still have Steve Woods, we still have Harry Kewell. And I know what the strange thing about the whole thing is, Paul, is Ange has Chris Davis as his number 2.
It's so strange. Where did that come from? But it just shows you. So where was Chris Davis? Where did he go to?
Leicester.
So he was still at Leicester.
He's still at Leicester. He was, and then obviously when Brendan was relieved, his duties are.
So he was obviously relieved as well then.
Yeah.
I wasn't like him. I was like that. I couldn't care less.
But he has to go. Yeah, he just terminate his contract. Like seriously, just get rid of him.
Yeah. Do you know what? I thought it looked quite good at certain points, but then again, so did everybody.
I just think we're all desperate. Sitting there with beer goggles on during lockdown.
He was part of the thing that kind of ruined their season for the 10 in a row season. That was it. And we'll never forgive him for that. So
I remember he put up a post saying hard work, him sitting on the yacht. I was like, oh my God, you talk about hard work.
It would have been hard work. Right? David Turnbull, what's happened with David Turnbull? Is he off?
Well, look, David obviously was the most used sub last season. He has potential. Look, he has potential. He dragged that one well team. I don't. The only thing about Turnbull is he doesn't have he's not sharp, boys. He's not quick with the ball. Do you get me?
Yeah.
Good shot on him. Cracking free kick taker. Good at pinging the ball, but you're gonna have a bit of pace for Brendan Ball as well.
Yeah.
And that's why the likes of Beaton didn't play Brendan Ball, because he was slow.
Yep. It'll be interesting.
I'm on the fence with Turnbull. I've ripped into Turnbull so many times over the years, and people are saying this and that. I don't know if it's just a case that people like to pick up for that their very own Scots, as they would Celtic Scottish players. But I don't know. I think a loan mill for Turnbull to do him. I'm gonna throw Kilmarnock. I'm gonna throw Motherwell Hibs out there.
Yeah, I know. We'll wait and see
I
what
think there's
happens
too
there.
many players ahead of him in the pecking order, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so as well. It just the midfield's just so strong. Especially when you get guys like Tomoki and I was going to say Kobayashi. He's a defender, isn't he? He's a centre back.
He just needs to develop. Okay, I think Brendan's at the buy into this whole Japanese thing, and it's good that was my biggest fear when he came in. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, it's Kyogo going to be gone MAEDA, Tate. And I still think there's a portion of Celtic fans that don't rate MAEDA the level that he deserves the credit.
Somebody say that on one of the groups I'm in, said that he's not a footballer, and I'm like, in fact, no, it was on one of the phone-ins, which I don't listen to the phone-ins and the SSB phone-ins. It was on that, and I think it's just mostly the half-cut drunk guys that phone into the shows. But he said that he's not a footballer, and I'm like, he's such an important part of the squad, such an important part of Celtic's team.
Look at that assist for Jota's header in the League Cup.
It was amazing.
He's a workhorse.
Could do that. There was nobody that could do that.
I've always done this comparison, but MAEDA's like a door cow. He literally does the hard work on the wing and gets stuck in. I've always done that. I know I keep bringing up these Liverpool comparisons, shite, but it's the only way I could think of, you know. But no, I think MAEDA needs the credit he deserves. Like, Ange brought him in from Japan, and the goals, the scoring his debut against Hibs and stuff like that. I think he's an option that we can have, and he's you know what, he lives rent free in Tavernier's Head. So
yeah, I know, and that's always good. That's always good to see.
I'm not worried about them next season. I think the gap will be closed a bit. Be honest with you, yeah. I think because there's going to be a lot of pressure on us to delivering the Champions League, delivering the League Cup, the Scottish Cup, and all this malarkey. Yeah. And I know the season's around the corner, but you look at what we have on the flanks. I think Abada will go. I think Jamesy needs to step up, or he's gone next season.
I think James Forrest will just be one of those players that will just stay with Celtic for the rest of his career, and he will just be part of the coaching staff or whatever he wants to do. I don't know what his plans are, but like James Forrest has always been a beautiful player. But
I know he's a legend. People can't. Legend, I know some people don't like to put the legendary status on a player, but like who goes on and wins 5 trebles in their career? Who goes on and scores 100 goals? Who goes on and plays 400 appearances for Celtic? That's legendary. That's legendary status. Yeah. I know people look at the likes of the Larson legends or the McStay legends, but James is up there. He has to be.
Yeah. Yep. Oh no, 100%. He does. Definitely. So many.
What was it? 24 honours for the club.
Yeah. It's like, I know.
But like the stats says it itself on it. Like,
I know. Do you know who I'm really looking forward to seeing again? And I think he's always been a good player anyway. Matt O'Reilly, I think under Brendan Rodgers is going to be a different class again.
I think he's going to be like a Stuart Armstrong. He's going to be like that Stuart Armstrong style of player under Brendan. And I know I'm comparing players, but I just look back to Brendan's first tender. I know he's saying this is not just a Starlick comeback, and it's not the way he wanted to do. He's come back because he upset the fans and he wants to make a statement. The way it ended, but at the same time, he doesn't regret leaving the club, but he regrets the pain and so forth. Yeah. I think Brendan will win over majority of the fans by the first derby. I think a lot of people are always going to have that pain against Brendan, and I think, as you said, we all have arguments in the families and we all forgive at one time. And Celtic Football Club's designed to obviously build on winning trophies and getting behind the team.
It'll quickly be forgotten as long.
Do you think there's going to be banners on the first game of the season?
Look, I don't care. I don't go to the games. I can't get to go to games. I work at the weekends.
I'm in Dublin every weekend,
But we always look to see what the Green Brigade or the North Curve do. I love everything about what they do. They can do what they want, but they've got an opinion, and they're different from. This is what makes Celtic so different from any other club in the world. People at the Green Brigade and stuff like that, they can do what they want, and I love everything they do. So You can't agree with everything they do, but then again, we don't agree, do we? But as families,
That's it. We're all entitled to our opinion. If it's a group of fans or a particular individual support. At the end of the day, we need to back our manager and back our team. We can't have negativity floating around the stadium.
We need to back whoever's in charge, right? But we also need to back the fans, because it's the fans that make it. So Green Brigade and all that. And
there shouldn't be divide. There shouldn't be this pro and anti-Brendan crap. I think Brendan's not coming into a club where we finish second and we're scraping to get Champions League football. He's not in that position. He's coming into a club where the club's in a healthy position financially. Champions League football's there. The team are in good shape. The players are in good shape. He's keeping the main assets. Yes, Jota's gone. He's keeping the Kyogos, which scored 34 goals. He has a cracking captain there. He has a keeper, which a lot of people don't trust his style of play. But I think Brendan will change that style of football up for Hart. I don't think it's going to be play from the back. It's going to be just pace. And I think that'll suit Hart. And I think Hart will roll out his last season. I think he will leave Celtic at the end of next season.
Yeah. Like if
leaving a high.
He'll leave in a high, and if he ends with the league and maybe another couple.
I really believe we need to go out and get another keeper, though. I don't know what we're looking at in that case. You say to yourself, who could we get? Who can we get? Is it a case that Queeving Kelleher can come in and get him from Liverpool? Is it a case that we look at another keeper in a different league? We route out to the Dutch league or the Scandinavian league. We do need another keeper, because I think Seacrest will go, and I think Bain is not the answer as a number 2. I know we have Toby, the young England 21 keeper or 20 keeper. We Toby's to come back from Cork, but Hart gets injured. It's kind of panic station, to be honest.
Yeah, of course. But you know what? Maybe we're reading too much into it. Maybe the keepers will got argued enough. I think it's just we everything is. If they've one bad game, then everything's way over the top in it. It's let's give them as much a hard time as we can. But it's everybody's opinion, and that they can have that.
100%. And anyone that's watching has opinion here, like or not. Yeah. We'll all say
100%.
Let's talk about the new home top. How are we feeling about
it? Mate, at first I was like a real Celtic fan. Nah, that's mine. That's a joke. We all thought it was a joke. And I don't know how they could sell it. Where was it? Canada? Was it Canada?
It was in Toronto, yeah. But the first one originally, the black one, was in New York. It was pictured in New York. So I've an admin on my page that lives in Orlando, and he sent a picture to me 4 days before it was launched, and I was just like,
"Nah, no chance."
Obviously,
the black one, by the way. I bought it for my boy, and I was going to buy another one. I couldn't afford two. As you know, it's so expensive for these tips. But I bought it for my boy, and I just love the black one. The black one's it's so beautiful, man. So beautiful. But I'm starting to really come towards the home kit. I really do like it. I think it's. Somebody said it's something to do with
the glass. It's to do with the glass, yeah. The original entrance glass, yeah. That's what it's down to. And then obviously we're 120 years of hoops, and as talks of obviously they're going to bring out another home kit, a special edition home kit. We shall see to that. But the black one's nice. The only thing I'm disappointed in is the club that they've gone with 3 black tops in the space of 4 seasons. I think we could have went out and got the Bumblebee strip. I think that could have been, our black magic could have been brought. Even though it's another black jersey, I think there could have been. It's a nice top. I like it, but we could have went a bit adventurous.
Look, the seasons go for. Do you remember when it was every second season?
They were the days. And do you know who I blame on this? I blame the likes of Real Madrid and Barcelona. They started this every season. It was them.
Was it them?
Real Madrid started this.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they started every season. They bring out a home top. From 2003 onwards, they start bringing out new tops, home tops every.
Aye, but then again, I remember it was just 2 tops. There wasn't a European top then, I know. But nah, so it's a bit. I suppose it's business, isn't it? It's just business, man.
It is business, and you know what? We're bringing out 4 or 5 tops a season at this stage now, and it's very hard for fans to keep up. But as you said, you'd be lucky to buy 1 top for a family member. Just buying these it's crazy. Like, it really is. But like, no one's putting a gun to your head and saying, buy this top. Like, you need to put the money in the club. Like, at the end of the day, some people are just going down to the retro style. They're just like, I'll pay the 40 quid. I just get a retro jersey from '95.
The retro tops are like that. That's it. The tops are top, but yeah, the new definitely it gets a thumbs up. The home top and the away top. So
I like the home top. I'm at the start. I was like, this is not clean straight hoops. Like, this is not clean cut. Like, this is like, when you look at the likes of what they done with Man United and Juventus and all, and the way they've gone with Adidas. Like, would you go back?
What got me was Calmac. When Calmax came out with it on with a long sleeve, and I was like, no, actually, it's actually really good. I just think as a player was wearing it, I think just seeing Calmac in it, I was like, no, do you know something? I like this top. But
I feel the Bears saying there should be two tops for home and away, and keep them for a couple of years. Them days are well gone, unfortunately, feed the Bear, because the manufacturers want to make cash, and Adidas didn't hit their profits last year, and they have a new CEO, so they're pushing everything out in the market to make because they didn't really make it in the Asian market last year. So that's just why we're seeing so many kits getting thrown out, and Celtic have jumped on the whole vintage jerseys like the likes of the other clubs. But what annoys me about the likes of Adidas is they don't bring out an away jersey long sleeve.
You don't bring it an away.
Yeah, you go back over the kits, all the away kits from Adidas. There's never been a long sleeve away kit Celtic have launched with long sleeve.
Wow. I never knew that.
Now, goalkeepers is different. The goalkeeper is a different situation, but who told me this was actually Kieran McCauley from Glasgow Celtic, where on Instagram told me this. Basically, Celtic are rated as a manufacturing grade B club of Adidas, even though we've been put into all these retro tops and all this, like, you know, the 2006, the remakes they bring out, but they won't give us a long sleeve jersey. Only the hoops, only the home jersey we get long sleeve.
Oh, wow. Well, I don't know why people get upset about that, but I just I've never even thought about it, man.
Stuff like that. It's great. Stuff like that.
You can't even get it. Surely that would be this makes no sense. Just makes no sense.
So you have to get the arms out, folks. You have to get the tan arms out.
Shows the guns, big man.
Oh, you'd be going around like Callum McGregor, getting Under Armour below. We're going to the booze with the Under Armour on.
That's what you do. All you need to do is get a black Under Armour for the way on.
I wouldn't touch Puma. I know people are saying Puma, but
no chance.
So you seem hands on with the Yango. You want them to come in for $2 million.
Yeah. But
I'm just hoping.
I've only seen clips on YouTube. But it's like everybody else. He looks good, but they all look good on clips, don't they?
Of course, you know.
They all look good on the clips. Because so many that you come over and you're so excited because you've seen them on YouTube and that guy looks brilliant. He looks like a player. He looks like he can score screamers.
So do you think we should get another centre back? Because this is the questions I've been asking most of the people here. Centre back, because Welchie's going to go.
Definitely.
Welchie's going to go.
I think Welchie's got to go now. The boy, is it Uragudi? What's his name?
Yeah, Uragudi, the right back.
Number 26. He looked amazing. And then he just went...
Well, the one game against Lille?
Yeah, he looked amazing. He looked like this guy's a player, but supposedly, they don't work out. Definitely, but we need another centre-back. Kobayashi is a good player.
A lot to learn,
but he seems a good player. We've got staff out there. Yep. I think
you don't know what's going to happen.
You don't know what's going to happen with that. But again, we're all making rumours up. But we're all kind of making assumptions. How many assumptions have you made?
Yeah, but how many assumptions has came true though?
Yeah, true. I know what you're saying, but how many assumptions do you actually make as a person? You're like, oh, actually, that didn't work out. But again, we just need to wait and see. But then CCV, when he comes back, so this is the thing, right? So CCV had his operation. Is he back in training yet, or is it going to be a wee while?
No, he's not back in training yet.
So is it going to be still a while yet? So we definitely need this.
Hopefully we'll have him back for the start of the season. I know it's 4 weeks away, 4 and a bit weeks away. Like obviously we go to Japan. There's talks of this Wolves friendly being played in the Aviva Stadium in Dublin as well. I think.
Yeah.
Obviously, I seen that last night. I was like, I want to get on it. I want to be there. I want to be in my hotel watching Celtic. I was at the last one when they played Liverpool. I was in the Celtic end, and then the Liverpool fans one sing "You Never Walk Alone" was around the 80th minute. So it was just the Celtic fans singing "You Never Walk Alone."
Wow!
I was just like, wow. I was like,
Wolves have got a good wee Irish connection. I suppose it's got an Irish connection to everything, but they've got a good wee Irish connection. By the way, I was looking at there was a Wolves. It was Irish, just called the Irish Wolves. They're called this fan company, and the badge right looks similar to your badge.
My Commander Who's badge?
Aye, it's like they just similar. I was looking at it, I was like, that looks like it's not the same badge, but obviously just looks similar the colours and all that. I was like, maybe it's your badges you've had because your badge looks really good, but. I was looking at their badges.
The reason behind my badge, folks, is because I come from Dublin, the original castle, the Dublin castle. So I thought we'd modernise it, put the trophy in it, and then we had obviously the Celtic design around the crest, which was obviously very similar to the 2012-13 season, 25 years. And then we just change it around. So that's the reason why there's a castle in the crest.
No, from Dublin. I do think there's a castle in the Irish Wolves supporters group with just the colours. I was like, oh, that looks good for the same. But
I'm sure Jackie McNamara played for Wolves. He left Celtic to play for Wolves.
That's right. Aye, so did. That's right. So that'll be a good day.
Hopefully it happens. Teams. You know.
Oh, is it just rumoured?
It's rumoured. Hopefully, if it's going to be confirmed, hopefully it'll be confirmed for the weekend, so they can start getting tickets out for that.
Yeah, no, that'll be good.
Who would be your starting 11 now? Right now.
Oh God.
For Ross County. Right for Ross County.
Right, so Hart and goals. Johnston right back. Starfield. If CCV's not there, it's got to be Kobayashi. And then obviously left back would be Kieran Tierney. No, but you've got to be your left back's got to be Greg Taylor, Fabinho Taylor. And then at midfield's obviously Kalmack, O'Reilly, Hatate. But I don't know if
what's the price tag on Hatate?
It's got to be. I thought he was the player of the season last season at one point.
I voted for him to be the player of the season as well.
So I thought he's 20. What age is Hatate? 20.
25.
25. So 20 million, man.
I would put 25 million on him. I don't know if I have my green goggles on and thinking of that Real Madrid performance. I don't know.
You're always going to have your green goggles on. Don't worry about that. You're going to do that, but I think if Jota went for 25 million, Hatate is probably just as impressive in a different sense.
I just hope we keep him. He look at it, the way he takes the ball and he just has everything. He'd be playing right back and all last season at one point.
He's so composed. His composure on the ball is just second to none, man. He's such a player. So you got to go 20 plus anyway.
Definitely.
I actually can't believe people have not come in for Kalmack.
Well, that's what Brendan said to the fan media, that he originally went in for Kalmack and straight away the club just laughed at him when he's at Leicester. Yeah,
well, I think that should. Obviously, should. So anyway, so if we're going to go with that, we're going to go Hatate, O'Reilly, Kalmack. If we're going to do a 4-3-3, right, it has to be obviously Kyogo, Maeda, and it's got to be O. But there's so many players. You get Lil Abada in.
So you won't put Abada in. You won't put Hake as, let's say, Jamesy. So
if you get three of them up front, maybe Maeda. Always plays with Kyogo, doesn't he? Doesn't he? So is O going to be that guy who's a sub? So he's not going to play two up front. So we need to be Abada. Didn't it need to be Abada then? Again, yeah. If Abada's is going to be, it'll be. Sorry, I'm changing my mind again. So it'll definitely be Abada, Kyogo, and Maeda on the left.
I'm gonna go out straight. I think I think there's going to be a couple of I think there's going to be a couple of players leaving before the start of the season.
And you think Abada might be one of them?
I think Abada and Hatate. I think Hatate is probably going to be going the last day to see last day of the window. I'm not trying to kill everybody's buzz here, folks.
No.
I just think money evolved. I could be wrong in 3 days' time when you announce a new contract extension, but you know, I think it's like a trio of the boys, isn't it? Even though there's 5 Japanese players. My starting lineup would be Hart and goal, Johnston, Taylor, CCV, Starfelt, Cal, O'Reilly. I think it's Hatate. Well, as I said, the last day of the window, I think it will start. So Ross County, Hatate, O'Reilly, Abada. I think we'll keep Abada towards the end of the window. I think Sporting Lisbon are hoping to get rid of this guy, this English player. The report is 40 million. They're looking to bank off this guy.
Who's that for?
Marcus Edwards.
Wow.
I think it's the guy that scored against Arsenal. I'm not sure, folks. Could be wrong in the Europa League. Could be completely wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that was the guy that scored like the 40-yard screamer against Arsenal in the Europa League. Could be wrong.
Yeah. I've never seen that. I would need to look again. I've not seen.
But like the bank, so as you know, the likes of Porto and Benfica and Sporting Lisbon, they have this model where they get these guys and they try to sell them for big bucks to the likes of Premiership outfits. And you've seen the likes of Man City buying players off Benfica and Porto for 40-odd million. So Sporting Lisbon will be going on that road as well. I think Abada, looking at the last game, well, won the last few games against the end of the season when we wrapped up the league against Hearts. He didn't look buzzing when we clinched the league going over towards the fans.
Who you mean? Sorry, say it again.
Liel Abada. I think he'll go.
I don't. Do you think he'll go? But I don't buy into.
He turned the deal down. There's a report he turned the deal down 3 weeks ago.
If he's turned it down, then he's off. See you later.
But this is the second time he's turned the deal down. Turned the deal down in January as well.
Right, so he's off then.
So obviously, Giacomakis was offered a deal. Jovanovic was offered a deal, and they turned him down because they wanted to move on, and he moved on.
Yeah, so Giacomakis, a similar situation. He'll go because he's not getting a game. Let's be honest, he's not getting the game that from the word go, and I think that's you can't deny him that. But again, you don't know what's happening.
I think it could be just personal circumstances as well. Like, he's 21. I'm not trying to sound like a pure weirdo here, but the likes of when Beaton left, he looked like he was lost. You know, he was away for his missus for a while. He's now back with his missus. It could be just a case that he wants a hotter country and play for another team. You know, he's accomplished what he wants at Scotland. Yeah, he can play more Champions League football. Like, I think in the players like this, they get the medals, they get the experience to win the league, and then they go on to win a treble. And like, okay, that's me done now. Will I go somewhere else? Because my agent's gonna turn me head and try to say I can get triple the wage somewhere. And that's the way it is. You know, unfortunately, there's no loyalty in football anymore. No, it's a business.
It's a business. We know it's business now, and do you know what? Let's treat it as a business. That's it. If there's any players like Kalmack and people who look like they're Celtic at heart, then we understand that. They understand it, and then that's fine. John Kennedy as well falls under that category. He's Celtic in his heart, and that's it. But
the relief when Kyogo signed that new deal, like, it just felt so good because obviously
that double whammy of him and Maeda.
Yeah.
Is in so close. Yep, 100%.
It felt like signing a new player, honestly.
Yeah, it was. By the way, that's what I'm saying. You know what you're getting with Kyogo. We could talk about Kyogo. We could spend an hour talking about Kyogo. He's that good. He is that good, and I'm so pleased that.
I'm just hoping he can go up to another level in the Champions League. Yeah. I'm hoping the squad can go up to another level where we get to see a couple of goals. You see, I always remember that goal against Ferencváros. I know Jota pinged it up to him and he scored. I was at that game. That goal was a cracker, but it's just Kyogo needs that. He's back in the Japanese squad now. He needs that.
Yeah.
Them big goals, and I know he does them in derby games and the 34 goals he scored last season. But just to get that Champions League goal, 1 or 2 goals, would be massive for his confidence. How are you feeling about the Champions League? Who will be? I'm not going to go through. Who would be your ideal group? They're all cracking teams, obviously.
They're all cracking teams. Again, it falls under the thing that I really don't care. I'll take anybody. I'm just so glad that we're in it. There's no teams that go, oh, I'd love to go and see them again, because that's not who. I just love being in the fact that we're in it. Celtic
I know,
always,
according to the pot hasn't been confirmed. It's either going to be pot 3 or pot 4. It just depends on the other teams that qualify at the moment.
Yeah.
So we could go against a Man City, because Man City are in pot 1. We could go against Sevilla. Sevilla are in pot 1 as well, because they won Europa League. Barcelona pot 1 as well. Real Madrid pot 2. Like, I wouldn't like to get Madrid again. I definitely don't want to get Madrid again.
I don't want Madrid. I think we had them. Maybe look at another wee trip to Barcelona. Be good there. I've been to Barcelona a few times, so I like Barcelona. But yeah, there's so many which. We'd always take the English team, so an English team. So I was going to say we English team, but just an English team.
Right now, assessing the squad, I think looking back to last season when we got the group stage, when obviously we got the draw, the Red Bull and the Shakhtar and I'm looking back and I'm saying we can get out of this group. We could do something here. We could get 8 points, and we finished on 2 points.
I know it was horrendous.
Air High should be. I know this sounds terrible. Air High should be pushing for Europa League spot in this group, wherever we have. I don't think we have the squad to get out of the group stages just yet. No, I think we need 1 or 2 injection players.
Well, I remember when we all thought Ange was here, right? We thought, right, this is a season where we'll see what we can do in Europe. And now Brendan Rodgers took over. It's the exact same scenario. Let's see what we can do in Europe. So let's just see what we can do. If it is going to be the Europa, then fair enough. But look, let's see what we can do. Let's push as hard as we can.
The only thing I don't like about the whole thoughts of European football is if we were to go into Europa League, we're in a competition which is one of the hardest competitions to win in football. I think it's harder than the Champions League, because you're getting against clubs that are pushing to win that. So because they know they're doing domestically awful, and they want that to get into the Champions League next season.
Yeah,
that incentive there. But I think you go into the Europa League, and I know fair enough Rangers got to the final and they got beaten by Eintracht. But you're putting your eggs in one basket, and then we need to have a good squad depth to compete domestically to keep this treble. Because if we put all our eggs in the basket and we finish third in the Champions League and we go in Europa League and we get a couple of rounds and we get dumped out of it, what if we lose 1 or 2 games in that? That could affect our season up in the league. It's the bread and butter. It's risky, and that's the risk you take in football.
Yeah, 100%. So look, it's a good season. It's going to be a good season. I think I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. Well, we never touched on the 700 tickets allocation for Ibrox. Is that a good thing, bad thing?
Yeah, we'll talk about it, because I know what's going to happen here. We're gonna have the same opinion from majority of everyone. They're all going to say the same thing. So obviously, the last time we had a full stand in Ibrox, it was when Brendan was managing. Yeah. He forced her, because we won 4 games in the trot against them away. They couldn't hack it, so they obviously cut the allocation. So they're saying 700 tickets. Obviously, last season we had one of our staff got hit with a bottle.
Yeah. So
our fans were here.
So 700 for me again. Yeah, I'm sending them back. But again,
I'd send them back as well. I don't think it's enough. I'd be looking for 3,000 at least.
I think they actually said that they could not guarantee the safety of the fans. I mean, for that to actually be said, they couldn't guarantee the safety of the fans. So, see if they can't guarantee the safety of the fans, why would you even consider it?
Well, you need to sit down at the table and say, well, if you want this, we go back to the old ways. You get your corner at Celtic Park and a bit after goal, and then we get our end.
You get your Rangers end, we get a Celtic end. That's it.
Because how are you meant to sell the likes of Sky Sports? How are they meant to sell a derby game when you have no
It's impossible.
Home fans. we all love having the full stadium, but at the same time it kills the buzz of the fixture.
Yeah, it does. Totally.
Because that's what I always say. Like, even when we're playing them away at Ibrox and we don't have away fans, I'm like, what's the point of even putting the commentary on? Because you're going to hear them singing in the background.
Yeah.
Is what's the point? What's the point of what? Like, you might as well watch it in mute. In that case, you need to have that bit. Like, even when that time we had the 800 fans and we beat them 2-1, and when they threw glass at Joe Hart and all on the pitch and on the goal, like, just to have that bit of fans there, I think 3,000 minimum, 3,000, and give them the 3,000 whatever.
Yeah, you've got to. Look, that it needs to happen. It needs to happen.
It irritates me because you got the Hampden and it's split. Yeah. You can't.
Look, we know who ruined this. Oh,
100%. They ruined it.
We know who ruined this, and Celtic had to follow suit. They had to do it, but yeah, it'll be.
No,
I'll be interested.
Don't they? If they take the 700 tickets, they'd be mad. They'd be mad to take that up. Crazy.
It would be mad, but I think it's all down to the Celtic supporters and what they want in it. It's they've got to give them the option if the club's part of that, and obviously the club is part of that. It's all down to what the fans think, and obviously it's very hard, isn't it? It's just one of those things where there's going to be a split. There's always going to be a split.
And I know I read comments on other pages. I know Sky Sports can't really, step in and say, well, you should do this with the allocation because they have no say in it. I know they broadcast the games and whatever, but there should be a case that the SFA, Sky Sports, and the police step in and say, well, look, this is what we can offer for policing the crowd or policing this certain amount of away fans. We need something to go because, if it goes a case where we have a full stadium and they have a full stadium and there's no away fans in next season, I'm sure we get on with it. But at the same time, you want a little bit of a spice, as I said, to have a little bit of away fans in. Because look at the clips when we beat them in Celtic Park and we're waving them all out of the stadium. That's the banter.
Yeah. I know that is. I know. But
right, I better leave it. Pleasure having you on, Paul.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us on, mate. It was so good to.
We'll get you on in the next couple of weeks before the start of the season.
No worries, mate. No worries.
My prediction is for the league, I'd say it's going to be 8 points.
8 points. Brendan Rodgers is back. Give me 20.
You think 20? You're going
20. Let's smash them. This is for the. I just want to smash them, but we always want to smash them. But
I just think a European football is going to have a lot of pressure on the club next season, and
I think so. But I can't see them do it. I can't. But look, we always do this, don't we? We need to take into consideration that Rangers were better, but it was just the fact that they better points since Mickey Beale came in, and I think do we look at that and was it take that for real, or do we say Celtic were taking the foot off the gas at this point? I don't know.
I think Celtic were taking the foot off the gas because Ange, I think the players knew Ange was going. And you remember that string of results we lost at Ibrox and then drew to St Mirren and then beating Easter Road. I think he was just probably like, yeah, this is my last hurrah. I need you to go out there and win the game. Yes, we hammered Aberdeen the last game of the season, but that's the whole thing about Ange was like, look, Ange came in, rescued the club. The club was in a shit place, to be honest, regards to the fans. It was turmoil between the fans. We were stuff. Like, you had players there like Edouard and Neuer and Christie that didn't care. They were crying. They were crying for meals when we got beaten by Ferencváros in the qualifiers that time. They were crying. Ange came in, cleared the dead wood, bring a few players in. We took a chance on the guy. He only does 2 or 3 seasons and he was gone. The club knew what they were getting into. They should give him a longer deal. But at the same time, we got 5 million out of him. He brought us 5 trophies. He brought us some great nights against beating them and some great moments. And we wish him the best. But at the same time, is he going to cut in the Premier League? I don't think Daniel Levy is going to give him the time.
Again, I do wish him all the best. But like I say, he's no part of Celtic. So
he should have just came out and said. Yeah, that's it. It's a closing chapter. Like Jota is a closing chapter, and I know it's still raw in the brain, and I know like Brendan was raw in the brain for years. But we need to just to move on, say, right, Brendan's here now. Let him he has his coaching staff in the door. He has his captain. He has the money there. He has a good recruitment. We have a full season. Books are sold out. Everything's good to go. We're good to go. Yeah. We just need to get our pre-seasons in, get them done and dust, get the fitness up, and don't worry about qualifiers and get stuck in and take every game as a cup final. Because I don't think fans should get ahead of themselves saying this and that. I'm like, just take every game as it comes.
Yeah, that's it.
You don't win the league in the first game of the season.
No.
38 games to play.
No, I know. That's it. No, so thank you very much, Keith, again. And like I say, it'll be good to get you on my podcast as well, mate. We'll talk about some
100%.
mental health stuff. And we'll get you in about that. It'll be really good to have you on, mate. So thank you so much.
And just remind the subscribers again, what's the name of your podcast?
So it's Green Sunrise Podcast. You'll get me on Twitter, and you'll get me on Linktree, and you'll get me on YouTube. You'll get me on Spotify for podcasters. And like I say, YouTube is the one I'm trying to grow at the moment. So it's 195 subscribers. So if you go onto the YouTube channel, please subscribe and just watch the journey. I've got lots and lots of
I'll put a link in the bio as well. I'll put a link in the description, so it helps. And I'll give you a shout out on the Instagram, because at the end of the day, if it's about mental health and we're Celtic fans and you want to just talk about general stuff without take a step back from football,
Yeah, 100%.
There's no harm.
There's so many different conversations, so it's good. So thank you so much to yourself.
I do need to go up and see St. Rock's Stadium, St. Rock's pitch. Sorry,
do you know what?
The little pitch, the little stand.
So have I. I've started up. I get past it all the time, but I don't give it.
You have the jersey on?
I know. I bought it because I love the top. I love the colour, and it's got the opposite the James McGrory. My friend actually. If you don't mind me giving a wee pun, my friend actually runs this is one called Ball Bags Celtic Supporters Club, but Paradise Plaques. He's one of the sponsors. So I bought it because he was a sponsor. So if you look at on the names on the back,
I'm gonna get one of them jerseys.
I've got number 8, obviously.
Kyogo.
So cute. But my number was number 8 when I played football. When I was at school. But it's got Paradise Plaques on the back of it. So a big shout out to my big mate Tam to Paradise Plaques, because he sponsors St. Rock's as well. So you got it. Plus I've got a few friends that just love the Rock. So I
think I'm gonna get a St. Rock's jersey and go to one of the games. We go for we get a bag of cans and go and see the Rocks play.
Quite right, I'll be there with you, mate. 100%.
Yeah, my local team is St. Mirren. I won't be touching them.
Well, is that your local team, St. Mun?
St. Mirren.
Well, St. Mun's in my heart. I used to go to St. Mun games with me.
Oh, Jesus Christ! I
used to stay in Paisley. But
are you trying to tell a story like Bobby Madden there, are you?
No, the boy is the thing is. Now, this is my first thing about people, Celtic fans for Asian, but my first experience is St. Mun, right? My dad used to take me to games. My dad's no longer on the planet, right? God rest his soul. But he took me to see Celtic, right? And Mikey Johnston was signing, right? And 2 days later, he went and signed for Rangers. So he came out with the scarf.
The Saint Henry season.
There's a different ground now, enough, but I support a boy for Enable Scotland, and he's got my heart as well. And he's a big, massive St. Mun fan, so I love St. Mun as well. St. Mun is a part of who I am. So again,
Paul Bundy. Paul Bundy.
I just support teams that all look good.
No, I can't. I don't support any teams. I don't support any teams don't support any teams in the League of Ireland, because I don't want the conflict with all my subscribers. We have Bows fans, we have Rovers fans, we have Shell fans. I've been to St. Pat's and all. I've been to Talcott Park. I've been to Daily Mount. I don't support any of them. I'm just delighted the League of Ireland is moving up its standard. There's only one club I love, and this is it.
Yeah. No, I'm the same. Look, but I've got my wee. I can give my heart out to so many other teams because they need it. It's all about.
You sound like Robbie. You sound like Robbie Keane there. More clubs than Tiger Woods.
No, they need the love. I said they need the love. As long as it's nobody else. But look.
I suppose I support Ballymun United, my local team, my proper team, my Sunday League team. Ballymun United. Sorry, folks.
Drumchapel.
The black and yellow. Black and yellow and black and blue. So a bit of Jota colours, a bit of Ronaldo actually, El Nazar, whatever.
Aye, but whatever. No. Right, but thank you, mate. Thank you so much.
No problem at all. I'll speak to you all. Folks, thanks very much for tuning in. Hail, hail.
Hail, hail.